agriculture is really a foundation, of Mongolian sort of culture, society, and there's a huge potential to increase, to improve production, just in terms of, just getting the basics right, really, and of feeding, breeding, and animal husbandry and care. The veterinarians are, quite influential in their communities quite often, and it's if we wish to help the herders, helping the veterinarians and upskilling them and helping them to help the herders is an effective way of us transferring that sort of information and skills. Here in Mongolia, I work with an organisation, an NGO called Mongolia VetNet NGO. They've been operational for many years now, and they exist to help the veterinarians in particular here. There's a few different arms at the moment. Actually, they are heavily involved in training. So we provide sort of up to a week-long trainings for Mongolian vets who will come from the countryside IMAGs to the central city of Ulaanbaatar for training. We're really trying to move that into a real balance of both classroom theory and practical hands-on training, which is an area they really need and appreciate. So as well as the individual training for veterinarians, there's also the vets will travel countryside to help educate the herders themselves on basic animal husbandry and care, appropriate animal treatments for different diseases and that sort of thing. We have an intern program we run at the moment, so training, sort of a concentrated, intensive sort of 5 to 6 month course to upskill many of them are new graduates or recent graduates.
Flock group of birds, good job.
The intern program is more specifically designed at either new graduates or recent graduates that are reasonably fresh out of vet school. The intern program is a little bit longer, even 5 or 6 months. We're still skimming the surface a bit, but it does give them a more intensive hands-on approach to upskilling themselves. Yeah, so this year we have 7 interns with us. They started in June and will continue through until November. So each week, we have a weekly schedule, basically a certain amount of classroom time, and then we have 2 days a week where they come out to this facility here in Ulzit, where we have some cows and horses and sometimes get in sheep and that sort of thing as well for training purposes. So it's a real combination, quite an effective combination of classroom teaching and then putting that into practice. So the facility here in Ulzit is really a sort of a branch of VetNet. And it's an area where we actually have some animals and basically a large animal clinic site, and used specifically for practical training for Mongolian vets and treatment of clinical cases. Just for a minute.
That's good. That's good. All right, no, that's good. So reach across.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that roll. Yeah, very good.
Almost straight ahead and slightly to the left, you'll feel the rumen. It's a big doughy sort of, it'll push in and it'll feel, it's not really soft, it's firm. Okay. at this particular field trip we work with a Canadian man who has a beef feedlot out there, and he's very willing and helpful, allowing us to come to his feedlot, help to handle the cattle, process incoming cattle, treat any that have got problems, pregnancy diagnosis, and anything that needs to be done really. And it gives the interns a real feel for for a commercial operation and where they can, where their skills and abilities and training can fit in to that, and how they can apply that in Mongolia as they move on from the intern program. Most of these vets will go out to countryside, back into practices, and they, and I think they're really able to use those skills, techniques, and the knowledge that they have in those clinical practices where they go back to. It would be nice to increase the size a little, but we don't want to get it too big to the point where the advantage of a smaller class size is that there's more opportunity for them to involve hands-on pregnancy diagnosis and everything else that goes on. So it's a balance between getting a big enough class size, a bigger class size to include more people, but also being able to have enough involvement to make it worthwhile. So we may increase the class size a little, but I think at the moment, until we have perhaps more animals that we can use or more facilities, we probably won't get too much bigger than we are. I think it's been a very successful program. We've been able to continue contact with many of these vets that have gone through and just seen the benefit that it's been for them, and it's been really encouraging. Mm-hmm. So when the eye is ulcerated, the surface of the cornea is broken, and it's sort of eaten away. But after it heals, that cornea grows over, and that's what's happened here. The surface layer of the cornea is now grown all over it. There's left a bit of scar tissue underneath, but the surface is nice and smooth now. There's no weeping, the eye's not red.